Okay, just wanted to cover the second trip to the range today, or yesterday, with the 7mm PRC. So, second range trip with the 7mm PRC. For those of you who saw the first one, this is an Outlier barrel. It's their, I can't remember if it's called if they just call it a bull barrel or their MTU contour. Somebody asked in the comments, but they offer two contours, and this is the bigger of the two. 1.2 inch, I believe it is pretty much a straight 1.2. There's no taper to this barrel, and also have their muzzle brake on there as well. So this was a Black Friday sale. They were offering 30% off their chassis, barrels, brakes, everything that they were selling. So got a pretty good deal on this. And then the stock, for those of you who didn't see the first 7mm PRC Outlier video that I put out, this is a Choate Ultimate Sniper stock. I bought this probably in 2001, 2002. So had this thing for a really long time, and then I've got an Arkin EP5 scope on there. So kind of a budget assembly. Kind of goes with the theme of the channel, practical precision. So the receiver here is a Savage 110 pre-Accu trigger. So purchased this rifle. It was a 7mm Remington Magnum originally in the late 90s is when I picked this up. So it had seen probably 3 different 7mm barrels, and this is at least barrel number 4 or 5. I've kind of lost count. I put a lot of rounds through this rifle. So cover the results from the range trip. The second range trip with the PRC. So I started at 200 yards. So, let's see if I can see in the viewfinder there. Alright, so the first group we fired 3/4 of an inch. That was at 200 yards. And second group was 1 3/16. And this was with the 63 grains of H4831 with a 180 grain ELDM. And then the other loads I've got here, this is 3 shots, again 200 yards, military surplus 50 BMG powder, WC872. It ended up getting slow velocities. They were averaging about 2,700 feet per second. The 63 grains of H4831 was averaging 2870. And then the other load with the military ball powder had 6 shots in about 1.5 inches. And then it was a 7-shot group, and then 1 was just outside. So okay, so that was at 200 yards. And again, all of these loads were not crimped. The reason why I say that is I had a phenomenal day with my 223 at the range. I posted a video on that with the 88 grain ELD match. And have 3 groups here. One of them is 1 hole. I made a video on that with all the different techniques, but 2 consecutive 3/8 inch groups, and then a 1 hole group. And I did change. The only thing I changed between those is just a little bit of shooting technique. So one of the things I cover in my videos is not only the loads, but also, you know, grip pressure, cheek weld, how much shoulder pressure I use, whether I'm resting on a bag, a bipod. So all of those things I think matter when you talk about, you know, half MOA versus 1 MOA on a group. Is that the load? Is it the setup? Is it you know, something to do with the human interaction with the rifle? So yesterday, the 20th of December, 7mm PRC with the Outlier barrel, shot some 100-yard groups after 200. So with the Hodgdon 4831. We were half MOA at 200 yards to just a little over, maybe 3/4 MOA. At 100 yards, now they were all pretty much all sub-MOA groups at 100 yards. I won't go into a lot of depth. None of those are amazing. But one of the things I wanted to point out, I didn't have any grip pressure on the rifle with my left hand. That's one thing I want to try on the next range trip. Plan on taking this out here in the next day or two again for the third range trip. I've got 49 rounds on the rifle so far. So I'll try different. I'm going to try another half grain of powder, 63.5 grains of H4831 on the next range trip. And then I've also got same powder but different bullet. I'll try the 183 grain Sierra Match King. So after this introduction video I'm posting here right now, I'll put shooting footage up from the 20th of December if you want to watch that. And I'll be posting more videos on the Outlier barrel. Thanks for watching. Alright, back out on the range today. Day 2 of testing with the 7mm PRC. Changed the load. Going with 63 grains of H4831 with 180 grain ELDM. Get some chronograph data on the 200 yard range today. A little bit breezier than yesterday. Okay. And today just going kind of straight behind the rifle, heavy cheek weld, firm pressure right behind the rear tang here. And just a light preload. The upward left-hand bull. .2889. Very smooth extraction. So far so good. Saw the impact. Elevation looks good. We're just to the left of the bullseye down there. Shot number 2. .2849. See if I can out number 3. .2885. Alright, we'll take a break there, see what the groups look like. Alright, first group of the day at 200 yards, about 3/4 of an inch. Absolutely ecstatic with that. And that velocity average 2874 with 63 grains of H4831. And I'll try 2 or 3 more. Need a small scope adjustment. I'll get zeroed at 200 yards, and then I'll try a different load here. Get the chronograph going. Okay. And I'll get some footage of the group as well here. We retrieve the target. Okay, light preload, firm cheek weld, and relatively straight behind the rifle. And light to moderate pressure into the shoulder pocket here, and thumb pressure right behind the rear tang. .2859. And 28.59 again. $28.77. And all right, so next load is same bullet, 180 grain ELDM with a surplus military powder WC872, and trying 74 grains of this. Probably won't get the speed, but we'll see how it shoots. $27.52. And brass looks great. And we're about 100 feet per second slower, just kind of how I thought the load would go. $27.16. $27.25. Okay, let it cool. All right, just taking a look at the 200-yard groups with the 7mm PRC. So the first group we shot here with the 7mm PRC was that one right there. And that measured right at 3/4 of an inch at 200 yards. That was 63 grains of H4831. And this is the Outlier pre-fit barrel. There's a 1 3/16 inch group with the same 63 grains. And then I tried a military ball powder, probably about 2 inches there. And actually, let me get a measuring device on here. Now, as reference, probably about 1.5 inches there, had one shot out. And I'll get a measurement on these here a little bit later.